Hi, I'm Tulio Faria and welcome to this series about ReactJS, JSX and React Native. So basically we are going to talk about ReactJS, JSX and React Native. And basically what is the difference between them? So first thing, what is ReactJS? So ReactJS is the name of the library. So it's a UI library. So user interface. So basically it's component based, so we need to create a component to have something in React, so everything is component based. And the most important thing, the component just returns the structure of the UI. So basically, for example, let's say we have a div /div for a web application. So basically we have this structure here. So every component in React needs to return this structure. Not the HTML itself, but almost like this structure here. So what is the thing? We need to declare this or return this in a way that we can store this in memory. So React basically does this, so it stores this structure or tree structure in memory. And later we have other models to convert this to real DOM or to a mobile application or a native component and etc. So basically React just handles this structure. So it's not HTML itself, but it's a tree-like structure, and how to update this on the screen. So it's basically a UI library. It's just UI. So what is the thing? If we use just ReactJS to create this kind of structure, we need to create imperative or like imperative structure. So we need to create every element by hand, and it's too much work for do this. So the React team created JSX. It's an extension for JavaScript, where we can write something like this. So we can create something like this inside a React component, and this structure is converted to React elements. So it's just, in the case of JSX, JSX is just a syntax sugar for React. So we don't need to create components creating each element. So for example, we can create something like this: ReactJS.create elements, and I need to pass div and etc. If I don't use JSX, so JSX it looks like HTML, looks like XML, because it's built to create something like a tree structure, but in fact it's just a syntax sugar where we can later compile to this. So we have this converted to this. So it's just a way of making things easier to understand. And the last concept for this video, React Native. So what is React Native? So basically when we talk about ReactJS, basically we are talking about React for web, but this structure is the same for both projects. So if we're creating an app for web, for example, it's the same idea, the same tree structure. So this structure here is the same for web and for React Native. So what is the difference between them? Here we have this structure being passed to another model called React DOM. So we get this structure in memory, and we convert them to the real DOM. So we convert them to a div, a p, or anything. So it's easier to convert this using React DOM. So we got the virtual DOM, that is the structure here, and we convert somehow to the real DOM. So we have ReactJS. Here usually we talk about ReactJS as being the web version, But in fact, we have React and React DOM. So React is just the way the UI will looks like, and we have React DOM that gets this virtual DOM or this representation of the UI and write it to the real DOM or to the browser. And later we have React Native, that is the same idea. We get this virtual structure, and this virtual structure is converted to native components in Android or iOS and etc. So this guy here and React DOM is like someone that knows how to write the components on each platform. So for example, we can add, for example, React VR, React Windows. So we use the same structure in memory, and later we just convert for VR or convert for Windows and etc. So it's the same idea, it's the same structure. In fact, the library that we import, so React here, is the same for both projects. So right now we are in React 16, so React 16 is the same for React Native and React for Web. So we just change the React DOM or React Native that transpiles or convert this virtual structure to the real structure, or real DOM or the native components itself. So the most important thing about this, it's always easier to use JSX because we can create an interface using like this. But the most important thing about everything here, if we learn ReactJS, if we know how to handle components, because components is written in ReactJS pure, so it's not, we just depend on the component here, div, peer, etc. But the ecosystem, the experience we can reuse for the other projects. So if you know how to create a web project in React, we can reuse this experience. Not this almost the same code, but the experience. Why this is so important? Because we can have a team that is ReactJS experience, and we can create projects for web, for VR, for Windows, for React Native, so we can publish our app in App Store or Play Store or whatever, using the same experience. So we just need to change some small parts that is particular to each platform, but the experience, how we can create the app is the same. So this is the most important and most relevant thing about React and React ecosystem.